Max, talk to me about the tech evolution. Talk to me about how we go from the current method of generation, which by and large, certainly in Africa, is coal powered. In some parts of the world, nuclear. We're seeing more renewables elsewhere in the world, particularly in your region. But as we move then to hydrogen, just give me paint a picture for me, please, as to how this evolution happens.
Well, looking at the one side, I think one major step that we need to take to come closer to decarbonization scenarios is really do, first of all, the coal to gas shift, because that is somehow significantly already reducing the emissions of the existing fleet. When we just then look at the storage part itself, I think right now, as already being said, there is a significant potential here for the application of batteries. And then, towards the way of, or within the way of going to a hydrogen future, there's let's say, a battle in between. Yeah. So we see that their cost of batteries are decreasing, helping also building bigger storage sizes, helping the overall business case of the application of batteries. But on the other hand, there's also very good potential, as I said, for other technologies. Either it's thermal based, it's compressed air, it's liquefied air. There's a variety of different technologies emerging, and they always have the very good opportunity of economy to scale. That means looking at the sizes of those projects, in the most of the cases, you get a benefit of building it just bigger. And that is somehow a bit the challenge here I see for batteries, looking at fuel cells and modularization. I think that is a major step to achieve the cost down curve. But once you're seeking for higher amounts of energy, also for a longer term duration, there are really those different technologies. And I think some of the technologies are also somehow capable to really have a sector coupling potential. So we're talking about the thermal energy storage. Besides the potential for re-electrification, it could be also the usage of that heat that is stored within the storage itself to be used in any industrial process where heat is required. Thinking about also the mining processes. I think what we also will see in future is really the multi-usage of energy. Yeah, that means you need the flexibility to decide, okay, right now I would like to produce more electricity, or I want to use the heat elsewhere. But it's really using each part of the energy, and therefore make it also addressing the needs really properly, and make it therefore very efficient. I think that is one big challenge, and also a big opportunity. Looking into this sector coupling topic is really helpful.
Max, thank you. Let's go to you, and maybe to wrap up this afternoon, Bhavtik Vallabhji. He is in London. He is with Absa. And 20 years from now, it's the year 2040. It's November 2040. There'll be no more pandemics. There'll be no more nasty shocks. The world is getting on. Everybody's playing nice. What does South Africa, perhaps Africa's energy mix look like, Bhavtik? I'm going to ask the question to all three of you and then wrap up.
Thanks, Bruce. Well, I see the future of energy is really bright from a renewable energy perspective. I think 2040 seems like a long way, but it actually isn't. At the rate battery technology has been evolving, we've been talking a lot about sort of green hydrogen fuel cells. I think that is certainly going to become a more dominant part of our energy mix. The cost has been evolving immensely over the last few years. There's been a lot of money being plowed into R&D on battery and energy storage. So I think that, coupled with tapping nature's natural resources that are afforded to us, and we have an abundance of brilliant solar radiation in South Africa, amongst the highest in the world. So I think solar can be a huge potential. Wind, right? So in South Africa at the moment, we still have only onshore wind, not offshore wind. If you look at Europe, there's a lot of offshore wind generation occurring. So I think in time, I think you will find that our landscape on the energy will actually move almost completely, well, not completely, but to a large extent away from coal. There will be gas that will be augmenting or supplementing variable renewable energy. Wind, solar, energy storage will be a big dominant part, and the storage element will actually enable renewables to be dispatched as and when needed. So I think it really makes for a green future going forward.
Ted Blom, give us your perspective, please. The year 2040, what does it look like, other than neither of us can focus really anymore, and we can't really pay attention anymore because we've got a bit old for this, but give me a perspective.
Okay, so yes, I'm currently busy doing a health reset, and I hope to be around in 2040. Previously, I thought I'd be gone by 2030, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. The fact of the matter is, if I look forward, we're certainly going to see electricity commoditized, because the means of generating and the demands on different types of electricity input are going to be so drastically different that you'll be able to store more than adequate power on your residential site, especially if you're part of a microgrid. And the only industries that might still really be suffering from the malaise of formal energy sector are the heavy users, the smelters and the mines and so on, if they haven't disinvested by 2040. So yes, in 2040 and after that, certainly the terrain will be very, very different. And hopefully we'll all be in a very prosperous position, because certainly the market is going to open up. Every Tom, Dick and Harry will have access to very, very cheap power. And that was what power was supposed to be in this part of the world, until the policy of Eskom was changed. And I think we all can look forward to a very prosperous future. I certainly am.
That's how I started off, by asking Max whether he was licking his lips in anticipation of the opportunity. Final thoughts on this topic to you, Max?
Yeah, thanks, Bruce. I could not agree more with what has been said. I think really the future is there, looking at renewables and the application of storage into that, because that is giving us the security that we can ensure really energy supply 24/7 out of renewable power, and then adding up wherever it's required by some gas-fired station will also help us, keeping a clean and friendly environment here. I think that those are really the steps that need to be taken. And then for sure, there needs to be a backup on the regulation side to really empower also the application of storage into those systems. And really look at, I think that was what Baftik said also, look at the potential that are just given by nature, by the geographical advantages. Also looking at offshore wind power, as we know, this is much cheaper than the onshore wind power, and really use those potentials that are given, and set it up by the right foundation from the politics side. And I think then 2040 looks like a very good future.